Hey everyone, it's Jeannie, and today I'm back with a card, and it is very simple, and I use a lot of masking to create it. I'm using Three Room Studios, It's a Ponderful Life, and Simple Sentiments stamp sets to create this card. I created this card because Three Room Studio has a Facebook group called Three Rooms Fourth Room, and in the group, there are weekly challenges. So this week is a challenge to create a masculine card. And for me, a masculine card is super hard to do. I love using a ton of colors and cutesy images, and I love creating scene cards, and it just doesn't really fit into the masculine vibe. I know that I do create cards for my guy friends and guy family members, but they're all cutesy and I just don't care. um, so for this card, I started out thinking that I was just going to do kind of a card that has a focal image. And as you saw, I matted a piece of white cardstock on pattern paper that was green. I wanted to match the image that I had in my head. So I used a circle die to cut out a mask using Eclipse masking paper. I'm using the negative of that die cut so I can cover the card panel and stamp my little scene within the circle. So I am setting everything up to see like where I want things to go, and I mostly wanted to contain my entire scene within that circle area, but as you can see, I do lift up that masking paper just to stamp one of these little plants outside the circle. And I just did that just to give a little bit of interest so it kind of looks like it's popping out of that circle. But that's the only image that I do stamp outside of the circle. I am also creating little masks for these very small images. And I do that because I want to use distress inks to mask up a background. Honestly, for me, distress inks are my go-to for coloring up a background quickly. And because I like masking everything, this is perfect for me. I'm gonna add distress ink to the top part of the circle, and this will be the sky area. I'm using squeezed lemonade, and I go in to darken up the edges with fossilized amber. I think that I'm going to be contrasting the yellow with the blue waters, so I wanted something different. I usually do blue skies, but here I just wanted it to be contrasting. And to be honest, when I finished this card, I wasn't 100% convinced that it was a masculine card. I think that the sentiments are what really make it kind of masculine because it's just kind of funny. My next part of the card is to stamp out the little grass area. This stamp set has solid images, which really work out because you don't really want to color grass. It's not very fun, right? It's just one color, and yeah, you can add dimension, but it's not my favorite thing to do. So I really appreciate having these solid images so you can quickly create a scene. I do use two different shades of green and I kind of offset them. So I stamp out the lighter color first, and then I'll move the stamp a little bit over and stamp the darker color, and I really liked how it turned out. So once I finish that, I go in to add Mermaid Lagoon at the very bottom of the scene, and that's where the water and the frog will be. I added the frog because I figured I needed to add something to the card, and I just love that he's just kind of peeking out. And I originally thought, for a masculine card, guys love to go fishing and it would be perfect to create a water scene, but I didn't really have any fishing stamps or anything of the sort, so I just went with a simple kind of water scene. For right under the grass, I'm using my Copic markers just to stipple on some color. And this adds a little bit of texture and it just kind of adds that ground for where the grass is sitting on. I needed it to kind of contrast from the rest of the scene, and I didn't want the grass just to be growing out of the water, which I can happen because, the bottom of the pond or whatever, but it just I think it really just grounds the image. It adds a different color into this scene, and I think that it makes it look more realistic as well. So I'll be coloring everything else with my Copic markers. I'll have everything listed down below in case you're curious, but all the remaining images are really small, so I'm just going in with some browns and greens to color up the rest of the plant and then the frog. I do go in to add a little bit of texture and interest to the water because I wanted to add kind of water ripples. So I will use Copic markers to do that as well. Three Room Studio has Facebook challenges weekly, and the first week is just like a random card idea or theme that you would go with. And then I think the second week is actually a sketch challenge. And the third week is where you use another artist's creation to interpret and kind of copy. And in the crafting world, it's called to case. So I think that these challenges have kind of brought me outside of the box because honestly, I had already created my Father's Day card, but I think that this would work for any of my guy friends, for any kind of celebratory card. And I think that those challenges kind of just draw me outside of the box because I've done a few sketch challenges where there is no way that by myself on my own I would create that particular card. So I kind of appreciate it. So if you have any groups that you really like doing challenges for, please share it with me because I want to check them out. I think that I've kind of gone into this whole I create what I create and they all kind of look very similar. So I kind of want to step away from that and create things that are outside of my comfort zone. So I finished coloring and I'm going to be adding the sentiments. And for me, the sentiments are what makes this a masculine card. I chose the words fist bump and a way to do that thing. And that just sounds very much like a lot of my guy friends. So I thought it was hilarious and I wanted to use it. The sentiment set has a ton of different sentiments, and I'm 100% sure you can find exactly what you need from this set. So I'm just heat embossing it on black cardstock. I really just wanted it to pop, and white on black is just my go-to for when I need sentiments to take kind of a focus of a card, especially here because the scene that I create is so simple that it really just needs to stand out, and I think that it works. So I'm just putting everything together, adding adhesive to that white card panel, gluing it down so the pattern paper peeks out. I think it goes well with the rest of the green on the card. And once I finish that, I'll line up the sentiments and add it directly to the card. It's a very simple card, and I hope it kind of gives you ideas for Father's Day or for your guy friends who might enjoy fishing. I know that this card isn't super like doesn't have a fishing at all, but I think that it kind of brings you to like going fishing maybe. I don't know. What do you think? But yeah, that's it for today's card. So I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.